Today we're going to dive into some Alta California Railway lore, build a Bascule bridge, paint some diesels, and run some trains. So the beautiful main line the Alta glides into Empalme today isn't the original right-of-way. The original 1870s-era Sonoran railway alignment is some distance away from the new alignment. When the Alta built its modern alignment, they sold off the old alignment to an electric railway, the Ferrocarril Urbanos de Aurora. The Aurora is an outgrowth of a real horse car operation that existed in Guaymas in the late 1800s. I extrapolated the actually reliable service provided by the Alta to Guaymas and Empalme caused the cities to grow larger earlier. With the growth came a need for transit, and the Aurora grew in Guaymas, electrified in the 1890s, and expanded into Empalme in the 1920s with the purchase of the original Sonoran railway alignment from the Alta. They quickly strung up wire along the line, and it now connects the two cities and a couple of outlying towns as well. This line goes across a tidal inlet. Back when the original line was constructed, it required a clear sea navigation channel for sailing vessels. The original bridge, seen in this rendering I drew, was a side swing span made of lumber and iron. When Spreckles dumped money into the Alta in the 1910s, he ordered a brand new bridge to handle more heavier, more modern locomotives, and the old bridge was dismantled. Enter William Scherzer. He patented the rolling lift bridge that bears his name in 1893. Following his death the same year, his brother ran the company, and in 1912 the bridge connecting Guaymas and Empalme was replaced. When the Aurora acquired the bridge from the Alta, they hired electrical engineers to string up wire and develop a way to lift the electrified wire along with the bridge. This will be modeled later on, and you'll see that in a future video. The kit itself is a custom model railroads kit from Baltimore. It's a laser-cut acrylic kit and goes together very precisely. This is a kit that requires full concentration and close attention to its construction. There's a lot of nuance in how it's constructed, and you can easily glue mirrored parts incorrectly backwards. I'll dedicate a full video to its construction as well, so stay tuned for that. The irony is that, although the bridge is still operable in 1968, the modern causeway the Alta built wasn't designed to be navigable by marine traffic. This was due to a storm that destroyed the little fishing port that needed access back in the 20s, and there was no longer any demand for masted ships sailing through. So the Alta built an earthen fill across the waterway and put a concrete weir in to control tidal movement. You'll see its construction in a future episode as well, when we build the tidal marsh and waterway. The lift bridge was useful as a drawbridge for less than a decade, and now it's a local landmark decades on. Once the bridge assembly is complete, it'll be countersunk into its proper height in the layout. Shortly after that, the entire interurban line will be laid and become operational. Then we will finally enter the interurban era. The end of August marked my birthday, which I got a few things for great prices to keep me amused. Thanks to my modeling friend Florian, I was able to snag a lovely steeple cab locomotive I've always wanted, the E69. Nice. This example, E69002, was built in 1909, so I'm having the Aurora purchase a 600 volts DC variant from Siemens/Krauss for use handling their freight online customers in Guaymas. It'll get painted into a cheerful traction orange with barrier stripes and lettering for the Aurora as well. If you have a recommendation for a decoder to stuff inside this Trix model, please let me know in the comments. I also got 2 torpedo boat Jeeps off Facebook Marketplace. The NP one is a Proto 2000 model and will become an Alta passenger locomotive. The SP&S model is a Genesis offering. That wasn't all. As seen last week and in a previous video, I went to a train show and bought a bag of fun kit bashing projects for just $9. The biggest news on the Alta this month, however, is the painting of the first 2 locomotives into their official paint jobs. EMD FT 9410 and a 2400 class Alco Century C625 are the 2 locomotives chosen to be painted into the 1946 Citrus scheme. Both engines will have entire build videos devoted to them, which will debut this season, so stay tuned for that. The FT was purchased new from EMD in 1939 and was repainted into the scheme after the war. It's now spent 21 years in this paint and will look like it with realistic weathering. The Century C625 is what's known as a paper locomotive. Alco designed this unit for branch line service, but nobody ordered it, so I kitbashed my example using trucks from an Atlas RSD5, and the rest of the model is just a standard Atlas C425. Finally, the bar at Esquina got an exterior detail pass. I carved the stonework on the back walls matching the prototype photos of a similar building in Guaymas. I then layered styrene strip across the front to faithfully model the Georgian-era columns, trims, and cornice. I used more of the MIG Products concrete to stucco all the walls, leaving exposed stone reveals in the back walls. Next came a layer of paint and weathering to bring it to life. It now blends in with the rest of the photocurve scene. Interior work, lighting, and figures will be next. I also added proper double-height sidewalks to the buildings facing the square in Esquina, following a photographic reference in Glimas. I'd like to know why the sidewalks are so tall in Sonora in general. Is it to help dismount from horses? Is it for drainage? Or is it some other reason? Let me know in the comments. It's been a surprisingly action-packed month. Thanks as always to my patrons. You make it possible through every dollar of your support to spend more and more time making and editing videos like this. Stay tuned for more videos about the lift bridge, the diesels, and more layout progress. Even a couple of new project layout series that'll debut this winter in tandem with regular Alta updates. This has been an Urban Era. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the comments.